Well, miraculously, ladies and gents, Jon Favreau has now been announced and confirmed to be directing the Mandalorian and Grogu film, which presumably, this is going to be the culmination of it all. I'm surprised. Maybe it will be a season condensed into a movie. There was some rumours of that. I'm more surprised Jon Favreau's back. Genuinely. Good. FYI, good. Because he's great. Hopefully he'll be given creative freedom, though. This is literally just dropped in terms of articles and stuff. So we'll just get into this now. This is hot off the press. So we'll take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. Before we dive into it, what do you think? Is this them doing good? Changing stuff? Or do you think that they're too far gone? Let me know. Anyway, Lucasfilm announces that Jon Favreau will direct the Mandalorian and Grogu film, and it will go into production later this year. Interesting. So Lucasfilm has announced the film titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, that will be directed by Jon Favreau, will go into production sometime later this year. Again, remember, there was some rumours that this would take the place of a season of The Mandalorian, basically. And I said at the time, that's a really good idea from a business perspective, not creatively or anything like that, but from a business perspective, it's a good idea because you're capitalising on the interest, and they don't have any other interest. There's no one else is interested in anything else Star Wars. So capitalising on a product that people were actually interested, they should have done it at season 2, basically. They should have done it ages ago. But it's Lucasfilm, they're idiots. So yeah, it's going to go into production sometime later this year. So Favreau told Lucasfilm in a press release, "I have loved telling stories set in the rich world that George Lucas created. The prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice, Grogu, to the big screen is extremely exciting." Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy then added, "Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters, and this new story is a perfect fit for the big screen." What was Dave Filoni's input on this? Sorry, mate, I didn't think he had much, to be fair. What's his input on this nonsense? What? I didn't think it wasn't really to do with anything. Fucking Dave Filoni taking credit again. So on top of the announcement that Favreau would direct the upcoming film, Lucasfilm confirmed that the 3 films they announced at Star Wars Celebration last year are still in development. I think this is that season then. I think it is. So those films are being helmed by Sharmina Bae-Chinoy, Dave Filoni and James Mangold. They also confirmed that Ahsoka Season 2 is happening. So that's interesting. That's really interesting. I think that they are adapting what would have been season 4, 4th season of The Mandalorian into a feature film. I think that they are. I think that makes sense. A lot, actually. Terrible that we're getting Ahsoka Season 2. Terrible that we're also getting a movie from Dave Filoni. Garbage. Maybe we can watch more space whales shit out hyperspace. God. Anyway. So this actually came from the Hot Mic podcast with Jeff Snyder and John Roach, who is an awful human being. And I did a video ripping him a new one like 2 days ago, something like that. Terrible douche canoe, that guy. But basically, Jeff Snyder, and this is why Jeff Snyder needs to get his own podcast, because my God, appearing on Roach's podcast is not good. A couple months ago, I also shot this one down. There were rumours that Season 4 of The Mandalorian could be turned into a movie. At the time, I don't think that was necessarily the case. However, that is what I'm starting to hear, that the odds are in that the project's favour. Whatever the Season 4 of The Mandalorian turns out to be, whoever is in it, whatever shape it takes, it is looking like that could be the next Star Wars movie, and that may be the thing that's announced before the end of the year. Well, it wasn't announced before the end of the year, but yeah, I mean, that is the movie. I think that Star Wars is anxious to make an announcement. I don't know that it will necessarily be before the end of the year, especially because the town starts to shut down basically next week. Blah, blah, blah. It's just a rumour. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Favreau's confirmed that he's written the 4th season. So this is just going to be the 4th season, isn't it? It is. Like, it's just going to be season 4. So greenlighting a film based on The Mandalorian appears to be the 4th season of the Disney Plus show. It's a huge gamble, especially given the show's ratings declined. That is true. The 3rd season had 51% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty bad. They should have done this, like I said, at season 2, quite frankly. It's not that, like, the show is massively declined, let's put it that way. I think people are really hungry for Favreau to come back and do something good. Because people are like, Dave Filoni, get away from it. But also, Dave Filoni's got a creative oversight role now where he'll be in charge of this. So I don't know whether this will be any good, quite frankly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't think it's going to be particularly great. If I'm looking at this from a business perspective, it makes sense. Like, it actually makes a lot of sense. But they should have done it before. I think people will turn up to this. For movie, FYI, the odds are actually in our favour that this is never going to get made anyway, because the odds are that they announce things and they never get made. So who knows what's going to happen at this rate? You know, they keep announcing films. I think this one probably will happen. FYI, Mandalorian and Grogu. What a lame-ass title. Lame-ass title. Look, I don't think this is going to be particularly great. Because Dave Filoni's in charge now of the creative aspect of Lucasfilm. I think that's disastrous. I think the fact that they've announced that they're going to be that he's working on a season 2 of Ahsoka speaks volumes as well. I know a lot of people like that. The only good thing was Rey, and unfortunately he's dead. The rest of it, I could take or leave. You know, I don't want to watch another show. I just can't be bothered with these things. They're so bad these days. My God. I just want some good shows, for fuck's sake. Anyway, there you go. Jon Favreau directing a Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Have they learnt, though? I don't think so, personally. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. I'd genuinely be keen to hear your thoughts. Because a lot of people thought that, like, Ahsoka picked Star Wars back up. I wasn't convinced. And I'm definitely not convinced now. But what do you guys think? Drop it down below. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. Share the video out. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.